Here is so strong. I really shouldn't even be having this because I'm on hour 48 of a chronic eye twitch. I don't know how to get rid of it. I think I'm just sleep deprived. I went straight from Louisville to New York to here, and it's also been months since we've been in Europe, and I think I forgot what that jet lag is like. Anyways, we're back in Rome. This is my third Rome vlog, and I'm very happy to be back here, but this time is a little different, and I'm very excited about it. Well, there's some bad parts, some good parts. So there's a lot going on in Italy, Rome right now. If you've done any sort of research into travel to Italy this summer, you probably have seen that people are highly recommending people not to visit Italy this summer because it is something called Jubilee, which happens every 25 years. It's sort of this mass pilgrimage that happens as part of the Catholic faith where people come to Rome. And to be honest, I don't know a ton about it, but I know that there are thousands and thousands and thousands more people visiting Rome this summer than other years. There's certain things that you can do and places you can access and like holy doors that you can walk through this year that you're not able to do any other year until the next Jubilee. So that being said, apparently Rome is extra busy this year, which I haven't really been out in the city yet, but it's hard for me to fathom because I remember last year we were staying at a hotel that was maybe 2 blocks from the Trevi Fountain. And I'm telling you, after 10 a.m. trying to walk in that area, also that area of like Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, Spanish Steps is sort of the mecca of tourism, but the fastest that you can walk is a slow shuffle. There are so many tourists here. And that was last year, not even during Jubilee. So I am imagining that the city will be packed. On top of that, also related to Catholicism, Pope Francis passed away. And I actually thought about it on my flight here. There's been multiple instances where I have been in cities during massive periods of mourning. Notably, one of them, I was in London in 2022 when Queen Elizabeth passed away, which was a crazy experience. I just remember lines of thousands and thousands and thousands of people waiting to go and see her coffin. And it's honestly really interesting and obviously a very unique experience to be in a city during a period of mass mourning of the people. So they just completed a 9-day mourning period of Pope Francis. And starting tomorrow is conclave. And if you did not see the 2024 masterpiece of the movie Conclave, you really should. Stanley Tucci, Ralph Fiennes, who played the hotel concierge in Grand Budapest Hotel, and the cinematography of this movie was just insane. And I do want to preface this by saying I don't consider myself religious and I'm definitely not Catholic, but I do have a fascination with any sort of theology. Conclave is so fascinating, even if you are not religious. And so this movie sort of gives a obviously fictional look into what this highly secretive process in the Catholic churches of choosing a new pope. So starting tomorrow, I think it's 133 cardinals essentially get locked in the Vatican. They get sequestered, so there's no communication in and out, and they do rounds of voting to pick a new pope. And because there's no communication inside and out, the way that they communicate once they have decided a new pope is through colored smoke. So while conclave is happening, there will be thousands and thousands of people waiting in St. Peter's Square next to the Basilica to hopefully be there for the moment when they choose a new pope. And if they vote and they don't have a 2/3 majority, black smoke comes out. But as soon as they decide who the next pope will be, then they have white smoke come out, and then they have this whole celebration of having a new pope. So a new pope coming in is just a rare thing in general, and to be in Rome when it's gonna happen, I think is different and cool, and probably will never be here again for an experience like this. Anyways, I just thought it was cool. I didn't know anything about conclave or what the process was like until I watched that movie. Obviously, the main reason that we are here, per usual, is for the Italian Open, which is a Masters 1000 tournament, which is at Foro Italico, I believe is the name of the tennis site, which has been around, I think, since like 1930, and it used to be called Foro Mussolini, which Obviously, they have changed the name since then, but it is a really cool site. They also have the Olympic pools there, which they built in 1960 for the Summer Olympics. And around some of the courts at the stadium, there are these like beautiful statues that sort of surround the courts. Let's do a little room tour because we're staying at a very historic hotel, from what I've been told. Hotels in Europe, the rooms are often so small, so it's nice to have space. And then you have this full walk-in closet with lots of storage. So all of Taylor's stuff is hung up there. All my stuff is hung up here. Here is the bathroom. It has this like green marble. I want this in my bathroom in my house. I think the best part about this hotel and room is it sort of kind of looks over the Spanish Steps. So that's the Spanish Steps. We have a cool little view of the city. This was not part of the room. I actually had them bring this little desk and then asked if they had a vanity mirror. If I ever become president, my first executive order will be making it illegal for men to design hotel bathrooms because the lighting in there, I was like, this is not gonna work for me. So this is something that I've done at hotels before, and something I'll just let you guys know you can do is that a lot of hotels will have these little vanity mirrors that you can ask for, and I literally just set up my own vanity, especially for filming and stuff. I'm like, I cannot do it in that fluorescent nightmare. You also can ask for extra hangers. So pretty much every time that we first get somewhere, I'll just call the front desk right when we get in, ask them to bring up 20 hangers or something so that I can fully unpack. And that's just to make it feel more homey. We spend so many weeks in hotels that I want to feel comfortable. I don't want to feel like I'm living out of a suitcase. I never claimed to be low maintenance.
It's gonna be way too strong.
Snow adult milkshake caramel macchiato with caramel drizzle. We are at Cafe Ghetto in Rome, which is the oldest bar, restaurant, cafe in Rome, and the second oldest in Italy. I think the oldest one is in Venice, and it opened in like 1720. This one opened in 1760.
What the fuck?
That was a 14-euro cappuccino.
You would probably have to go to Air One to spend that much on 4 things.
I don't even know if Air One coffee is that much. It was a palace that was built in the 1600s and then in the 1950s was turned into a museum. And right now they have a Caravaggio exhibit that is completely sold out for the next month. I tried to get tickets online. I was far too late, but I am going to go try to see if I can still get in. Maybe do a walk-in if like someone doesn't show up. Probably not gonna happen, but we're gonna try. Okay, yeah, did not get Caravaggio tickets. That was a very hopeful long shot for me. I've seen Rome described as a living outdoor museum, which I would completely agree with. You can walk around and see incredible historic things basically everywhere, but this goes for Rome, Paris, pretty much any like major metropolitan city in Europe. The best museums that I've gone to are little galleries or collections that are not going to be on like the top tourist museums you need to visit. And the best part about it, they're usually empty. There's nobody here. I just went through like 70 rooms and there was maybe 1 or 2 other people in each of them. Huh? I got you. I came here for the first time, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, but I was absolutely blown away by the museum. Far exceeded my expectations, but Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, and right now is the second day of conclave. They still haven't decided. I think they've already done a few votes. There was another vote this morning. The black smoke came out, so basically we're here right now, and any minute there could be white smoke, which I think would be really cool to be in Vatican City when there's a new pope. But I'm here with Milan. This is Milan.
Hi, vlog.
Were you named after Milan, Italy? I haven't even asked you that. You were?
Yeah, my mom used to model there.
It's one of my favorite rooms in a museum ever. Well, this is one of them. They have 2 huge hallways that have thousands of sculptures. We just had a whole ass photo shoot in here. And these are like Some of them are handsome and then some of them are... They just announced a new pope. White smoke came out like 30 seconds ago. All the workers are freaking out. So we're gonna go and try to walk towards St. Peter's Basilica. We're only like a 6-minute walk right now, so wish us luck.
From the Vatican Plaza? I think I'm about a 10-minute walk. Daddy!
We are like 1 block away from the square right now. I was so tired last night. It took maybe 45 minutes, an hour to get back because the traffic in the city was so crazy. I had booked these tickets to the Vatican weeks ago before Pope Francis even passed because I had tried to go to the Vatican in 2023, or I did go, but I had not pre-booked a ticket. I didn't know you were supposed to, and I ended up waiting for 2 hours in the rain to go to the museum, so obviously I wanted to avoid doing that again. We're there for maybe, I wanna say an hour. I actually found out my friend Bridget in New York texted me in all caps, new pope. She's on her journalist shit. I don't know how she found that out so fast. And then the second I get that text, I look up and there's like guards running in the museum and everyone's got their phones out and it's just like, obviously something's happening. So I turn to Milan and I'm like, we gotta go, right? And she's like, duh. It felt like a movie scene. Like it was just complete chaos, but in the best way possible. People were crying and screaming and running and jumping in the street. And there's just this wave of like thousands of people heading toward St. Peter's Basilica. Since we were in Vatican City, we got there quite early. Apparently there was people like all over Rome the second that news was announced. The trains were just bustling with people. Everyone across the whole city is booking it to the Vatican to try to get there by the time that the new pope comes out. Honestly, the funniest thing, all of the announcements that happened there were all in Italian or Latin, but the moment that they announced who the new pope was and revealed that he was from the United States, it's a dude from Chicago, like if it was a movie, the subtitles on the bottom of the screen after he said that he's from the United States would have been like nervous murmuring. I think it was just a surprise. So the conclave is the only religious event that you can bet on like a sports bet. And I think this guy, Pope Leo, was not even in like the top 5 of who people thought that they were going to choose. And last night I had posted Instagram stories of kind of the whole experience and I got a lot of responses to my Instagram stories like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were Catholic. I am not. Obviously there's a lot going on in the world, so I think that the new pope was really sort of a symbolism for like peace in the world and hope for peace. I don't think I've ever really talked about religion on here. I know it can be sort of a touchy subject, even though it shouldn't be. My family is very religious. I was raised Lutheran. They were very involved in the church. My younger sister taught Sunday school. My little brother was an altar boy. I, however, was a very opinionated child, which I'm sure doesn't shock anybody. But when I was 10 years old, I was going to church. I would fall asleep in the pews. I would like make my mom tickle my back during church because otherwise I truly could not sit through it. I hated the whole experience. And I said to her, Mom, I don't believe in God. I don't like going to church. I don't want to go anymore. Then she said, okay, well, would you be willing to try something else? And I'm like, sure. So over the next, I want to say 6 months to a year, she brought me every weekend to a different place of denomination. We went to a synagogue. We went to a Catholic service. We went to a Protestant church. We went to one of those like super hip, modern Christian rock sort of services where everyone's like standing on their feet and there's lights and music. Basically, she just wanted to give me the exploration and the freedom to figure out if I wanted to have a different sort of relationship with God or if there was something else that I wanted to pray to or if I wanted to practice worship in sort of a different sort of way. Currently, I would say that I'm more spiritual than religious. I think that the most official term for what I believe in is called mystic. It basically means someone who seeks a more personal experience of the divine, and that's through introspection and meditation and altered states of consciousness. So like breath work. I like doing breath work, and that's sort of how I connect with whatever my higher power is, which I'm not even really sure. But when I refer to like God or talk about God in my personal life, or when I mention it in my content, it's more so the Julia Cameron and Abraham Hicks version of God, which doesn't even really specify following like a text or a Bible. It's just the belief that there is something more than existence in a body. Anyways, today I'm going to a cooking class. One of my favorite things to do while traveling is going to cooking classes, and in 2023 I did one here with the cooking classes called Cooking with Mama. I'll link it down below. It was so fun. Booked a different one this time just to kind of get a different experience. I know it's kind of touristy, cooking classes and food tours and like the walking tours. I think one of my favorite parts about going to them is getting to meet other tourists. It's just a different way to experience a city and meet new people.
You ready? Want me to take a video of you during that?
Sure.
Here you go.
We're making fettuccine first. What are these ones called again?
This one, cappellacci. So just one, this one is perfect.
Oh, grazie.
Hello to the Trevisi Fountain. Trevisi is close to Trevi Fountain? Yeah. Went to go there, and all of a sudden you hear the crowd scream or yell and everything. Yeah. Then the road, church bells were like crazy.
Got a little cappuccino at the coffee bar, and Milan is about to go to her very first tennis match. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
Do you know anything about tennis?
No.
This is the player area, so this is where the coffee bar is, and then back in there is where the player restaurant is. We are heading into the match now. He is in the grandstand, which is this sort of cool looking structure right there. It's very busy on site today. I think tennis has always been popular in Italy, but I think it's just exploded because Sinner, who's the #1 tennis player in the world, is like so famous here.
Skin glow. Music play, the fist begin. Fills the air, steps quicken. Rhythm beats, high fresco.
These with just like a plain black shirt, like tucked in with a belt.
Sure.
Yes? Sure. Okay, thank you. We just had a bomb meal, and Taylor goes, you know what? I would have enjoyed McDonald's just as much as that. And then what did you request for dessert?
McFlurry.
McFlurry. We're in Italy. We are walking back to the hotel.
No, was it?
Oh. It's recognized everywhere here. Did you smile?
Yes.
It is 7 a.m. at Porta Portese Market. This is a market in Rome that's only open on Sundays, and everything that I saw about it said to come at like 6 or 7 a.m. And if you come after 9 a.m., you've already come too late. I saw a lot of people refer to it as a flea market. I don't know if I would really call it that necessarily being here. There's basically just tables with huge piles of clothing that you can dig through, and the clothing's between like 1 to 3 euros.
Ballerina sprizzettina, mi, è la moglie di Tung 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 Spritz.
Okay, we're trying these Dior booties. They have 100 different tiramisu flavors, and the first time I had it, I got the pistachio because that was top recommended, and I've thought about it ever since. This is the Jewish quarter of Rome, which is one of my favorite areas to come to. You have Campo di Fiori, which is quite touristy, but the food around here is really good. I've talked about this before in past vlogs, but it also is called the Jewish quarter or the Jewish ghetto because the Jewish population of Rome was enclosed into. So there is a lot of dark history in this neighborhood. Obviously, it was a very difficult time to live in here, and when you go through these little side streets, you can still see a lot of the history of that time in this neighborhood. There's plaques of families. Can I get one slice of the mushroom and tomato? Wow. The last time that I was here, I genuinely thought I had been hit by a Vespa. I walked out with my plate of pizza. Turns out it was a bird that had dove down from the sky, and the wing had hit me so hard in the back of the head that like I genuinely was in shock. And birds here are crazy. I literally thought that I'd been like hit by a little motorcycle, but it was just a bird who was stealing my pizza.
You haven't had a shirtless cameo in one of my vlogs in a while. It was due time. Oh yeah. Taylor doesn't like mushrooms and he ordered a mushroom pizza. What kind of sauce is on it?
Well, I want to have sausage on it. What?
Does it have a sauce?
No.
Italians.
Italy does not have Uber Eats, but they have Deliveroo, which is essentially the same thing. This is a machicana. Machicana? Machicana. The other best place to order food from, if you want a night in, is Trapezzino. They actually have stands around the city. I'm pretty sure it's a chain. Basically like a pizza pocket. And if you go there, the best one is the chicken one. So good.
Have different colorways, different...
If you are looking for kind of a fun shopping splurge to do in Rome, I would recommend coming to the store. Just the aesthetic of the store itself is really cool, but I am getting a pair of sneakers, and you can customize the material, the colors, the laces, the color of the little like iconic Golden Goose star. And Golden Goose is an Italian brand, so that's why it's fun to do in Rome. I think I like the sparkly...
Spread something if you want to.